welcome back to Diary of My Frugal Life. Today is Saturday and I'm here to start another day, spend the day in my kitchen with me video. So, I already started this morning. I started making some bread dough. Now I doubled the recipe and it's ready. And what am I making? I am making a Portuguese recipe. I'm going to make pão com chouriço, so chorizo bread, and I need to start making it because the dough is ready. But I also need to start making dinner, and I am going to make a lasagna for dinner. And as I have shared with you before, I always make the meat in my slow cooker because not only the meat gets more tender, also gives me time to do other things in the meantime, and that's exactly what I need. So I'm gonna chuck everything in the slow cooker. I forgot to take the meat out, but it's fine because I'm gonna leave it all afternoon until night in the slow cooker, so it will be cooked. I have no issues with that. I've cooked it from frozen before, never had a problem because the quantity is not that a huge quantity, and I could, if I stick it on high and leave it for longer hours, it will definitely be cooked. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do first, and then I need to start rolling the chorizo bread rolls basically, because they need to rest before I put them in the oven. I'm not sure what else I'm going to make, but I'm definitely going to make something else. This afternoon I also need to go and clean my garden, so I have to do things in the between, but I'm focusing this vlog in my kitchen and spending the day in my kitchen, so everything I make in my kitchen I will film for you. Okay, I've got my slow cooker. As I said, my meat is frozen, so what I'm gonna do, first I need to take it out, completely frozen. Just took the paper from the meat. Now I'm gonna stick the meat there, and I'm starting on high already, and I'm gonna cover. So the meat is starting to kind of defrost before I add the ingredients, because I need to prepare my veg. And surprise, I'm not ready. So I'm gonna bring you to the other place where I'm gonna start chopping the veg. So I've got some garlic, red onion, and I've got this little bit sad looking pepper I collected free from Olio, but I'm going to use it and it's going to be fine. I'm also going to add some frozen carrots and some chili that is also frozen, so I'm going to just take it out to defrost. So this I'm going to put straight in my food processor. I need to allow the carrots to defrost a little bit before I put them in the food processor, because otherwise it's going to be difficult to actually, put them there, because it's a big block of carrots. I'll add the whole pepper. I think I've got some lasagna sheets for pasta, and if I do, I'm going to use them. If not, I will make my own. But because I need to make my garden, clear my garden, would be better and easier for me if I don't need to make the pasta today. But if I have to, I will. Now I'm going to peel the onion. The rest is already in the food processor. It's easier to stick everything there you know, as soon as it's done and ready. Please let me know if you enjoy these videos, as I have changed the way I make them. Because I'm still sharing recipes with you, but because, you know, I wouldn't share as many recipes on the same video like I used to do with the meals of the week, I can, you know, use less music and explain more. So if that's something that you prefer, please let me know. Now I'm just going to use some garlic cloves. I always try to use the biggest ones. Hope you can see better. But sometimes these garlics are not like the biggest ones. Because again, if I am lucky to get some garlic bulbs from Olio, on that, you know, I'm not gonna mind the size. And I know some of these smaller ones, that's where I got them. Because I try to buy the biggest ones when I go shopping myself. Okay, I'm gonna use 4 garlic cloves. So I bring you to the food processor now, where I'm gonna add my carrots. As you can see, they are frozen. They will be, you know, sliced, but they are still very frozen. Just trying to separate, because, you know, also I want it to go kind of, yeah, okay, that's better. I'm getting my hands really cold. So hopefully now, because I need to be able to spread the carrots, otherwise it doesn't close the lid. It doesn't matter that the meat is still frozen, okay? But I already can see it's starting to defrost, okay? But it's going to cook anyway, and there will be no issues, or, you know, for your health or anything if you do it this way. I've done it for many years, never had a problem, and the meat is always well cooked. That's why I really like my slow cooker. So I got my veg. I'm gonna add some salt now. I'm also adding a can of chopped tomatoes. It could be plum tomatoes, it could be passata, you know, whatever you want to, really. I am going to add mushrooms to this recipe, well, if I don't forget, but because they don't need as much time in the slow cooker, I'm not going to add them now. Hope that makes sense. just adding the rest of the seasoning. So some black pepper. I'm also adding some basil. I'm gonna add some mild chili powder. Also adding a little bit of oregano. And some paprika. So I'm cooking in high, and when the meat is not frozen, you know, and it starts to cook, that's when I will add my mushrooms. So I took the mushroom tin out of my cupboard because otherwise I know I will forget to add the mushrooms. These can stay here for a few hours now. The first thing I need to do is to slice my chorizo. Now I doubled my bread dough recipe, so I used 1 kilo of bread flour, because you know, I want to make as many as I can, and I know sometimes when, you know, there's less flour, of course you're gonna make less, and I really want to try to make more rather than making less. Now I usually cut the chorizo like this, but you know, it's up to you. You can slice this, you can cut it in chunks, you know, however you want the chorizo in your bread rolls, basically. Now, some people will do it very thin. I'm not great at cutting thin slices, so that's why they are a bit more on the chunky side. And if we don't use the whole chorizo, I always can use it for something else. My son will also eat it as it is, because, you know, he loves chorizo. Nothing is a waste in this house. Okay, I'm gonna put it aside. Okay. Just going to add some flour. And now let's take all the dough. Hopefully you will come easily, or not. Wow, look at these. It's amazing. Just need to, you know, scrub these bits, because this is all dough I can use. Now I used high hydration bread dough, and that's why it's a bit more sticky. So depending on the hydration levels of your dough, you might have more or less sticky dough, basically. Hope that makes sense. And you know, I don't use a specific bread recipe for the chorizo rolls. I just use any bread recipe that I like, and I make them, because they are just rolls. You are going to add the chorizo, so there's nothing really like specific, because the dough only needs the ingredients as if you're making any bread. I hope that makes sense to you. I'm just trying to, I'm now adding a little bit more flour just because it makes it easier to handle if it's not so sticky. Now I'm going to divide my dough very soon. Just want it to be, yeah. I'm happy with this. So I'm going to cut it in half first. I'm going to use half the recipe first. I probably need to move myself. Yeah, because I need to kind of be in front of the mat to be able to kind of do what I need to do. And when I had the camera, I couldn't. So I just need to, move that. Now, it's easy for me to use half of the recipe at a time. And half of the recipe can be cut in 8. Okay? Now, something I forgot is I need to start getting my tray ready, because once I have these done, they will need to go to the tray. So I just cover a tray. Now, oops. And now we're going to start with these. Now, I don't have much space here, do I? Is it just me? Now, I want to open the dough. Again, I am just adding some more flour because it's very sticky. It will be great, but for me to be able to mold these, I really need to, So I'm adding 3, and now I'm just, now just really covering these. Now I usually make them kind of small, so it's something that you can just grab and eat as a snack, something you want, rather than a big one. Of course, when you go and buy them in Portugal, usually they are kind of big, because when people want to sell them, they want to sell big things. Now it also, I probably haven't measured this properly, and some of them will be bigger than others because, the way I divided my dough. Because I'm still learning how to use my dough cutter. It's not always the same size. I could have measured, like weight, and all have the same amount of bread. But to be fair, that's not really necessary for me. Some people like these with more chorizo, some people like with less chorizo. I am one of the people that prefer them with a bit less. Okay? And they are very rustic, they're very different sizes, and that's fine. I think this one's gonna be, yeah, this is too much. I should have waited because it would be better. Yeah, I'm gonna get my scales. Change of plan over there. Yeah, I prefer to wait because otherwise I'm going to have some huge, some really small. Okay, 100 grams I think is perfect for my rolls. So that's what I'm going to do. 100 grams of bread dough. So if I have more dough than chorizo, my plan is to make some baguettes, because the last time I tried to make some baguettes, I used that flour that really wasn't great, so I couldn't make the baguettes. So I would make them today. So yeah, that's my thinking when I decided to make more. You know, I can make as many chorizo rolls as I can, but also I can make my baguettes. It's easier if I just wet the dough. Now I'm not going to bother you with making all these rolls, because it's always the same. Okay, so I will show you when they are ready and before I put them to rest and then to the oven. So I see you very soon. So I used all the chorizo. I made 8 of these ones, and I made 5 here, and then I made 3 more with chorizo, and the leftover dough is about 92 grams. It's just bread, so it's going to be a small bread roll. So actually I'm really impressed. I've got 16 chorizo breads ready to go. Well, not to go to the oven because I still need to do something, but also they need to rest. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a knife and I'm just going to make 3 cuts. Because you want the chorizo to breathe. I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to do on the other ones as well. I just don't have Okay, now I'm going to allow these to rest for about half an hour, and then I will start preheating the oven 10 minutes before, also because I used my oven for lunch today. I don't need to preheat as much, but you could start preheating 15 minutes before you are ready to put the rolls in the oven. So I will show you when I'm going to put them in the oven. As you can see, the rolls are getting bigger because they were resting after I add chorizo. So I'm now ready to preheat the oven, and in 10 minutes I will put these rolls into the oven. Sorry about the noise in the background, but my clothes are washing. It's my second load today. So now I'm going to start dusting the chorizo breads with some flour. I'm just going to, open here a little bit more, just because, as the dough rests, of course it's going to have a second rise, but you don't really want these cuts to be completely closed. They don't need to be huge, but you don't want them completely closed. That's why I'm kind of, giving that to them. Now, I'm going to show you my oven. Okay, hopefully you can see I've got a tray with a Pyrex. It's actually Pyrex, the real one, in the oven, just to give some steam. Now I'm going to put these ones here, and I'm going to put the other tray on top, but I still need to dust the other tray. Again, I'm going to just make sure the holes are kind of, open. going to again dust. I hope you can see. Okay. Now I still have four rolls that need to go to the oven, but they can't go now because I don't have space. I don't have another tray, so I will, these ones I will deal with them later. Let's just look at the meat. You know, you can already separate, so it's defrosted, it's cooking now, so that's great. It has passed just over an hour. We still have a long time to go with these, but it's going well and smells so nice. So I'm just going to cover, put the lid back on and leave it. My first chorizo breads are now out of the oven. They are cooked. Now they are a little bit on the brown side because I preheat the oven through full blast, but I forgot to turn the temperature down for the first 10 minutes. It was completely my fault because I should have turned it to 200 degrees and it was 250. So, you know, they got brown very quickly and they shouldn't have. And now, just, let's see. They are really nice anyway, just a bit more crispy and brown. Now the other ones also, because remember I am doing in two sections, so the top ones will always cook first, then the bottom ones, but they look really nice. I will show you later when I open one. At the moment they are too hot for me to eat them. They are all cooked, all lovely, including this very nice soft bread roll that I will eat very soon with some butter. So yeah, I'm really pleased. So I just opened the bread roll. Look, very soft. I'm just going to add some butter. Yes, it is very hot and I'm gonna eat it because I'm fussing it. What's the best? You know, a warm bread roll with, you know, melting butter. Just delicious. Sorry, I won't eat. Oh, let me take off the knife. I'm gonna eat these because so nice. Okay, it's now time to add the mushrooms. Just going to drain these and let's check them. Give it a stir. The smell is delicious. I'm gonna allow it to cook for another hour. It's much later and we cleared the garden. I had to rest after that. I'm feeling really exhausted because it was so messy. So yeah, I think I need to really renew my garden waste bin, even though I'm not going to use it for the year. So hopefully they will be able to give me a refund when I move, if I move, but you know, I'm positive that I will move at some point. But you know, I think it's very likely that I will move before August, so August, September probably. So that means I really need to have that renewed. Now the lasagna, the meat is kind of ready, so I'm going to start making the white sauce and I'm going to assemble because I want to have a nice relaxing bath and you know, so I want to get everything ready. Now I do have some lasagna sheets and that's great because yes, I'm not okay to to go and make some pasta because I'm tired. I'm just tired, and I think, you know, it is what it is. I can't say that I'm not tired. I am. So I'm going to prepare the white sauce first. I know you've seen here many times before, but you know, and just for if you are new here, you might have not seen, so I will still do it. So my hair is a bit crazy at the moment. I hope the light is okay. It's getting a little bit darker, so I just need to make sure I've got, you know, some nice light. So I'm gonna add some butter. Now, I don't keep my butter, the one I'm using like for toast, or you know, for the one I'm on a daily time eating. I don't keep it in the fridge because it's proper butter. It's not like the artificial ones. And proper butter can be out of the fridge, even though in summertime it gets very soft. But it's okay to have it out of the fridge. Now, I just added some there. I'm gonna also add the flour just when it's finished melting, but it's gonna melt very quickly because, as I said, it was very soft. So I keep the butter in the fridge if I'm not consuming it, but when I am consuming it, you know, I take it out. That's, you know, but I've got 2 packs in the fridge because I don't need so much butter outside. I'm gonna add some flour. Mix all this together. I always make a big mess when I'm making white sauce. Don't know why. Oh, I need a little bit more flour. Today I'm using plain flour. Again, as I said, you can use any kind of flour. I even have done these with the oats. So, you know, anything will do, really. Perfect. Add some milk. I need to change for the whisk. You have to really get rid of all these lumps. Start seasoning with salt, nutmeg and pepper. I need to make more quantity. I don't know why I made so little. Really not sure what's going on with me today. Why did I make so little? Because I need loads of white sauce for my lasagna. I'm going to start making it. Now, because I don't want to use loads of milk, I mix a little bit of milk with water. I could have just added water straight away, but I added some more milk. I have plenty of milk at home, not that, but yes. It's also healthier if you add less milk into the white sauce. you will have less calories, even though you are using the butter and the flour. Now, as I said, I need more quantity, so I'm adding some more flour. Let's whisk everything together. I just need to ensure I'm turning the heat on so these can boil, because these will need to boil and get thicker. It's getting good. I can feel it getting thicker as I whisk. Look. I've seen someone making white sauce in a shallow pan, and I am a person that makes a lot of mess when I'm making white sauce. I will never be able to do that. This looks really nice, very nice. I'm just adding a little bit more water because I know I need it a little bit more thinner. It's lovely, it's creamy, lovely. Oh my god, the mess. I have to clean. It's lovely and creamy, but too thick now. But anyway, because I need quantity, adding more water is exactly what I need. As you can tell, it's now getting better. Now I'm not adding cheese, but I will put cheese on top of my lasagna. Turning the heating off. This is done. I'm happy. Just going to try to clean here a little bit because I made a big mess. Beautiful, really nice. But the meat is very hot, but look, it's cooked, properly cooked. Is absolutely fine. It's gonna be delicious. Okay, let's see if this is a good angle for you to see. I'm gonna start with the meat, but I need a better spoon. And add some meat at the bottom. I always start with the meat at the bottom. I know everybody has different ways to make their lasagna, and that's absolutely fine, you know. I'm now adding some white sauce. I think I'm going to add some more liquid because it's getting really thick. And then it's not really, you know. This is the thing with white sauce. It always thickens more after you turn off the heating. That's why, you know, you want it thick and creamy but not too thick. And my one is just being a bit too thick now. But that's fine. There's always a solution. That's why I'm saying this is a no-fail white sauce recipe, because there's always, if something went not as great, you can always rectify. There's always a solution. Now I'm gonna turn this off now. Just I had to have the fan on because my kitchen is so hot at the moment, and that's the issue. You know, I just feel like, oh my god, I've been cooking all day with the oven, and it's just too hot at the moment. Really, that's the issue basically. it's normal to have a few lumps, meat lumps, because I didn't keep, like, you know, I should have mixed the meat, but because I was busy doing other things, you know, I didn't have the time to really break down the lumps, the meat lumps. But that's fine, it's cooked, and that's the main thing, is the meat is cooked. That's what is needed. Now, the lumps, we can always deal with them. And anyway, it's not like unpleasant to have a lump of meat because it's cooked, you know what I mean. I'm just got a lot of meat here. Now, I'm not going to use all the meat there because that's, for me, is already too overwhelmed. But I will show you what I'm going to do with the rest of the meat. More. This one I'm not even going to cut, it's fine. Okay, and now I'm just going to cover these with the leftover white sauce. And then I need to grate some cheese. Wanted to get trying to use all of the white sauce. Okay, this doesn't need to look perfect, you know, but it's gonna be so tasty. That's the main thing. Now let's get the cheese. So my kitchen is getting really crowded now. Small kitchen, lots of cooking going on, lots of things around. Yeah. But I've got some space to grate my cheese. I don't buy grated cheese, first because I'm not sure if you know, but grated cheese is actually a UPF food, because the ingredients on grated cheese are not just, you know, whole ingredients. Now, cheese is a processed food, like a minimally processed food, that's fine, but this cheese ingredients is cow's milk, basically. Now, if you go and buy cheddar cheese, it doesn't matter the brand, read ingredients. They are not great. So, you know, it's so easy to just grate some cheese in the moment. No, not really an issue. Now, I will need to make sure that I have enough for my garlic bread as well, because I'm going to make my homemade garlic bread. And I'm so pleased that I started making my homemade garlic bread. It's like, I can't believe, for years like many years, I bought, shop bought garlic bread without even looking at the ingredients. And the fact that, you know, garlic bread shop bought does not have any butter. It's made with oil. So, you know, it's not healthy. But the one I make at home, it's got real butter, not those artificial vegetable spreadables. No, real butter. I always add some parsley and some crushed garlic cloves, and then I just spread it on bread and add some grated cheese on top. It's amazing. It's so much better. Now my son is always asking me to make garlic bread. So this is ready to go to the oven. Now it is a bit early to start cooking, but because I want to go and have a bath, I'm just going to let it be inside the oven for now, and then I will turn the oven when I'm ready to bake these. Now what I'm going to show you, I'm going to take you over there. Okay, this is the leftover meat. Usually what I do is I add some spaghetti here and I make a spaghetti bolognese. How easy is this? Just going to mix to see if it needs more liquid. Yes, I need to add some liquid here because I need the spaghetti to cook with the meat. The meat is cooked, but it's not going to be doing any harm to the meat to be there. So I'm going to add some water. You don't need loads, but you need to make sure you then... Oh, where did spaghetti go? Oh dear. Oh dear. So, you know, you want to make sure this spaghetti will get some liquid so it can cook. Does it make sense? I'm going to cover... Well, I need to now go and wash the lid because I forgot to... I was going to do this and then I forgot to wash the lid. Okay, done. I took my garlic butter from the fridge now because it's very hard, and when I want to spread on the bread I want it a little bit more soft, so I just took it now, but I keep it in the fridge, and when that finishes I will make some more. So I'm now going to store these chorizo breads. I'm going to leave some here so that my son and I can eat. We'll leave 5. I will leave 5, and I'm going to freeze the rest. I'm going to put the others in bags. I've got 9 here, ready for the freezer. And then we just take them and defrost them when we want to eat after we finish these ones. The spaghetti cooked whilst I had a bath. Had a lovely bath. And now I'm just going to take it and add it into one of these containers. Actually, we need another one. I have more than I thought. So yeah, lovely. I'm going to use the other one, making sure I can take everything out. And you know, nothing is a waste. And I've got some lasagna portions and 2 spaghetti bolognese. So I've got 2 portions. I'm not going to cover yet because this, as you can see, is still very hot. Now I'm going to start preparing my garlic bread. So I'm going to use these slice of bread I've got. The butter should be, yeah, very nice to spread. I like to give, you know, a generous bit, because if I'm making homemade, I will be generous with my butter. You can see the garlic here, you know, it's such a nice thing. And now I'm going to add the cheese on top, and I will place these in the oven for a few minutes. Again, let's be generous with the cheese. Okay, I have a little bit of cheese, and you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just going to add some over there. You probably can't see. Yeah. You know, nothing is a waste, and there was no need for me to keep it. Yes, it's not a huge quantity, it's fine. Yeah, let's put this in the oven. My lasagna is done, and I'm gonna start serving this. I haven't prepared the salad, but to be fair, the lasagna is packed with vegetables, so you know, no need for that today. If I had made it, it would be fine. I didn't, it's fine anyway. Do you know what I mean? It's like I'm still eating loads of vegetables in here. The lasagna is cooked. The sauce is because I always have lots of sauce in it, but the reason I do is because as I freeze lots of the portions, gives me, you know, when you reheat, there's more moisture. You know, it's good. If you are reheating the food after frozen, having more moisture is always good. The garlic bread is ready, and I'm going to serve it. Look at these, gorgeous. We already had dinner, and I already tidied the kitchen and washed what I needed to wash my hands, so that's good. I've got these foods ready to go to the freezer, so it's going to be really nice, and I need to find some space in the fridge for the lasagna, because it's going to be our lunch tomorrow. We're going to have lasagna for lunch. I usually try to have something for us to eat for lunch on a Sunday, because our Sundays are always so rushed, and we need to eat lunch around 12 the latest. So you know, I need to have something that is just I need to heat up and you know, not worried about. So the lasagna is going to be great for that, and then I will freeze 2 of the portions, but I will do that tomorrow. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed spending another Saturday in my kitchen. I hope you have enjoying these kind of new vlogs I'm making, and continue to share my lovely recipes with you. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye bye for now.